All right, hello everyone, hello. Welcome to Streamlining Your Communications with SmartPlans. What we're going to be reviewing today are some different ways that you can implement SmartPlans to have your outreach continue to your clients over that extended period of time. And all you have to do is set it up and forget it in a way. So we have a couple of great smart plans that you can download and add into your library with very little work that you have to do on your end. So we're going to review that, and we're also going to be reviewing how to set your smart plans up for success using triggers, and that incorporates tags in our smart plans. So I'm going to showcase how we can use those and really highlight an open house follow-up plan and how we can make that as easy as possible. So if you're tuning in, if you've never looked at smart plans before, I'd recommend going back and doing a little bit of research just to get yourself familiarized. This is not an introduction to smart plans, but if you are at least a little bit familiar with them, you'll be able to keep up no problem. So right now I am logged into my command database, and I am on my SmartPlans applet. That is going to be the fourth icon down with that little cogwheel. This is going to be SmartPlans. Now, just a refresher, any plans that you have already downloaded or created are going to show up under My SmartPlans. We also have the library available, and the library of SmartPlans are where you can find plans that have already been created by either Keller Williams headquarters or other agents from across the country. They have created their own plans and published them, making them available for any of us to download into our own personal libraries so we can customize them and make them our own. So as I mentioned before, I'd like to show you two different ongoing emails that you can set up. One was created by our very own BCP team. We have Nagam in our Ridgewood office. She created the My BCP 12-month plan. And I'm also going to show you a plan by Kimber Walton, who's an agent and works very closely with KWRI. So while I'm here on the Smart Plans page, we're going to see that I can search for plans, and I have the ability to search by either a Smart Plan name, an author name, or a description. So I'm going to come in Smart Plan name, and I'm going to search for BCP, Bergen County Partners. Now, right off the bat here, we see a lot of different smart plan names with BCP included. And as we scroll down, we see that they are created by Nagam, who I just mentioned works in our Ridgewood Market Center. Now, you are going to notice that there are 12 top of mind tips. This is one email. In order to download the 12-month drip campaign, you need to download and apply the smart plan labeled BCP 12-month touch top of mind. This is 1 month out of the 12-month drip campaign. Essentially, what that means is that we are going to have to download a quote-unquote master smart plan that will then download all of the other smart plans that go into that master plan. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So let me scroll down. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And here we see this is the 12-month touch. So this is the 12-month automated drip campaign. When I click on the Add to Smart Plan button, we are going to notice that this is a bundled smart plan. And this is what I mean by having to download certain smart plans before you download the bigger plan. And the beauty of this is that we don't need to figure any of this out on our own. The system tells us exactly what we need to do. So since this is a bundle plan, it contains multiple plans, and it wants us to download all of these smaller plans before we can download the bigger plan. Now, since I already have these in my library, it doesn't give me the option to download. Instead, we see success because I had gone in and individually clicked on download for each of these plans. Once all of these plans were added into my library, I then clicked on the larger download plan, and I was able to download the bundle. So what the heck does this mean? I'm going to come back into my personal smart plans. And here is where I can see that. Can't make that bigger, unfortunately, but here's the 12-month. And then here's where we see month number 12, month number 10, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the pencil icon to see what this plan entails. Now remember, this is that bigger bundle plan. So once this loads, I'm able to see that each of those quote unquote smaller plans, the number 1, number 2, they're already part of this master smart plan. So this right here, this plan goes over the course of 351 days, so about a year. Right here, this is the plan number 1. After 30 days, they'll get sent the email number 2. After 30 days, they'll get sent email number 3. So you'll see as we scroll, all 12 of these plans are already in this master bundle for us. And there's very little that we have to do to add to this plan because everything is already placed for us. Download, yes. So you have to download each of those plans individually. Now I can click on this arrow and it's going to show me all of my additional plans that I can add instead of the plan that's already existing. You don't want to do that because this is already laid out exactly how we want it to be. Now, we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom and we're going to see that after they get that last email after 20 days, you're going to get a task that says the 12-month plan has ended for this particular client. And you can apply that same smart plan or put them on a different plan for another year. Now to add someone to this plan, we can do that right from within the particular smart plan here. We can click on contact and add by tags or add everyone in our database. But I do want to show you what these individual emails look like. So I can exit this master bundle plan. Then I can go and take a look at, a little slow, any of the individual monthly plans. So let's see what month 10 looks like. You're probably wondering, what are these plans? Like, what are you talking about? I should have explained that. So these 12 emails have been created by Nagam, and they are truly generic yet important information that you can relay to your clients that is not seller or buyer specific. So for example, month number 10 is a painting app. And I can take a look and preview what this design looks like. And this email is simply just going to give them tips for painting. Other emails have similar topics, whether it's to get your home ready for winter or spring cleaning or anything like that. It's going to be an email that regardless of who receives it, they're probably going to find it to be somewhat relatable. Again, because we're not putting out, tips on how to get your home ready to sell or things to look out for when you're buying a home. These are really going to be just a general email that is going to give your clients something of interest to look at, but it also keeps you at the front of their minds, which is overall the goal. Now, just so you guys know, because we downloaded each of these 12 plans into our library, and they all come with a design email, I can go into my design area, and I am actually able to see all 12 of these emails show up right here. So let me just go and look at the list view. And here's where I can see, here's month number 1, 12, 11, 10, etc. So I'm actually able to see all of these different tips that my clients are going to get over the next 12 months. So about caulking, even wrinkled clothing, safety, how to safely deal with mold, unclogging a drain, just general, tips and tricks. Again, it is not buyer or seller focused, but it's important information. And that is also what you want to include when you have your outreach to these clients. So they know that you're not only about your business, but you also are providing them with information that's going to help better themselves, help better their homes, whenever they would like to. So again, I can come back to my SmartPlans here. And once this loads, here's that 12-month plan here. This is another way where I can add contacts instead of being in the actual plan. I can simply click on add contact and that same pop-up. So
I have a question.
sure.
I would start this plan to be on now, whether they receive month 8 or they start at month.
That's a great question. They are always going to start at month 1. Since the plan is laid out to go from 1 through 12 in numerical order, when you add them to this plan, they will always get that first email. So you have this plan in your database, and let's say today you go ahead and you put all of your buyer and seller leads on this plan. 3 months from now, you want to add all your new contacts to the plan. When you add those new contacts, they're going to start from the beginning. That's the beauty of this plan, is that you can continue to add people to this. And since this is not time sensitive, it's okay that your clients are going to be receiving these emails at any time. So hypothetically, if all 3 of you are in my database, and I put Maura on this plan today, and I put Janine on this plan in October, and I put Josue on this plan in January, you guys are all going to get that first email the first time. So just because you're starting them at different times doesn't mean that since Maura is already on month 5, when I add you in, you start at month 5. No, everyone's added individually, so everyone's going to get that same cycle of emails or any other entities here. I want to show you another plan that is very similar to this. And as I mentioned before, this plan is created by a woman named Kimber Walton. So I'm going to come over into the library, and I do believe she has edited her plans to include her name. That's not her name. There we go. Kimber Walton. There we go. So yes, I'm able to see that she is the author here, but she has also included her name to be part of the SmartPlan name. Now we have a 36 touch part 1, part 2, part 3. She's also had some quarterly magazines and some different things like that. So we're gonna see, wait, where's her bigger one? Hold on, let's find that bigger one, similar to the BCP. I know she had one. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So here is the 36 touch part 4, Kimber Walton. If I click on add smart plan, we are going to get that same pop-up that we got when we saw the BCP one, where it's asking us to download additional plans in a specific order, and then I can download the overall plan into my library.
Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
If you don't know any smart plan, that goes to your computer, or that goes to the.
It goes right into the My Smart Plans area.
Oh, really?
It goes into the cloud. Right, exactly. And nothing's gonna physically download onto your desktop or on your
It
phone.
just goes into your section of your smart plan. So it's not
Exactly.
personal library.
So kind of think of it like if you this is gonna go way back here. Think of it like back in the day when you would download a song off iTunes and it would go into your personal library on your computer, but it might not be in everyone else's library. Kind of that same thing, where now.
But it's a cloud-based.
Exactly, so now I'm here and I see those 3 plans that I just downloaded, I downloaded them today, they show up at the top. But these are in the My Smart Plan area, so I'm the only one that can see these plans, because I can also make edits to them as well.
Can I ask you something? I know the smart plans that you were talking about before, but I had to download one at a time. It didn't ask me for the bundle, is that okay?
Yeah, so long as, and you can, if you were to download, that's a great question, so Maura just asked. Essentially, if she didn't download the master bundle first. Is that okay? And the answer is yes, you can still go in and download each of those monthly plans individually and then download the bigger plan. It'd just be a little bit easier when they have them all lined up in that one section to make sure you're not missing any. But ultimately, I do believe you can download them in whatever order you want.
And what about the Kimberly one? Because I downloaded the part number 4, it didn't ask me for download any bundle, so should I go download the other part 1?
Let me take a look here. This actually looks a little different than the one I think I looked at before. So this is part 4, 1 email, set a delay. So this plan seems to be a little bit different, and this is why, you know, again, as I said before, this is not an intro class, but generally, whenever you're downloading a smart plan, always read it through and make sure that, you know, you're looking at the right information. When I downloaded that other plan, I thought I was downloading something else. Now that I'm in here, I'm seeing that this is a different sort of plan where, even though this is the part 4, this includes multiple touches to the client. So this does go over a period of 90 days, where the first email is going to be all about your real estate investment game plan, waits a month. Then it's an email about your home office space, waits a month, and then an email about should I buy and sell at the same time. Then they're automatically going to be added onto the part 5 plan. I have a feeling if we look at the part 5 plan, they'll automatically be added to part 6 once part 5 has ended. So we can go back now and look in the library and find her other parts 1, 2, and 3. And ultimately, they should link everyone into one another. So you can set that up as an even longer range of that outreach, where not only are they getting this 90-day plan, but once they finish this 90-day plan, they're automatically going to be put on the next 90-day plan, where they're going to get 3 new sets of emails. Once those finish, that's part 5, they'll automatically be added onto part 6, where they'll then get another 90 days of emails. So does that make sense? How even though this plan itself is only for 90 days, the final step is to add them to another smart plan. So they're ending one smart plan and starting another. And that's the beauty of these plans, is that you can have this automatically, have this person go from one plan to the other based on how the plan has been created. That is a step that you can use, and that's how Kimber has set hers up.
Can I download them? Can I add them to the contact now, and then it will automatically, they will get in 90 days? So can I add all these smart plans now, for all 12 months, like the one that we put, for example? If I add them, all of them, not the same contact, is that okay? Do I have to wait?
Well, you don't want to add, you're not going to add, you're only going to add, for example, for this Kimber Walton one, you're only adding part 4. Because once part 4 is done, then they're added to part 5. It doesn't automatically.
It does it automatically for you, you don't have to manually do it. So once you've downloaded them all and you check for the first one, it automatically will shoot the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, to the sixth, to the 10th power.
Right.
So it'll do it for you, once you put them in your thing, right?
Right. Now with the BCP one. Oops, I clicked on the wrong one. For the BCP one, just like Janine said, once they're added, and So, yeah, there we go. So once this plan loads, we are able to see that in this plan, for example, this goes for the full year. So once you add someone to this plan, they're gonna get this for the next year. And then at the end of this plan, once it's finished, you're gonna get a task to reach out to that person or just, apply the same smart plan. Or reach out to someone and say, hey, I need another round of emails or something like that. But essentially, the way Nagam has set up this plan is that once your contact receives that last email, after 20 days, you're gonna get a task letting you know smart plan has been complete, and then you can decide the next step for that contact. So you'll always be able to add on little things like that at the end of plans, tasks, or things like that. That way you're alerted that that plan has ended and now it's time for you to figure out what the next step would be. Did that answer your question?
Yes, so do I need to add a content to each of the steps?
No, you're only adding it to, for the BCP one, you're only adding them to that, the 12-month touch. You're not adding them to any of the individual ones that say number 12, number 11, number 10. Because those are all included in that overall smart plan. The 12-month touch top of mind. So you only need to add people to that one bundle plan, because all the other plans fall under it. Now with these Kindle plans, I believe that there are some additional ones. Here's part 1, and here's part 2, and here's part 3. So I already had these added into my database. So this is the Kimber Walton 36 touch number 1. So this is our first one. So when I click on it and it loads, we see this is part 1. So they're gonna get an email. Do you mind closing the door? Thanks.
How do we know that smart plan actually work? They saw the emails that we sent it.
Excellent question. I'll show you that in just a second. You're gonna be able to see it in the contact card. Great question though. So here is the part 1. So we add someone onto this plan. They get this email for frequent buyer questions. It waits a month. They get another email, waits a month. They get another email. It waits almost a month. And then they're automatically added on to the part 2, once part 1 has completed. So when you check your smart plan, if the last step here is to add them to a new smart plan, you know that it's going to be done for you automatically. You don't have to go back and manually add that contact onto the part 2 or the part 3 or part 4.
Because you're adding to the main one, and the main one then goes from there.
Exactly. They all interconnect. Right.
I don't have the main one, I think that it's something wrong. I only have mine says 1 day, 1 time.
So you'll have to go back and then download, make sure you're downloading either the, it depends on the plan, how it is written out, but,
Yeah, because every plan's different.
Every plan
This
will be
specific
different.
plan has 7 steps to it. So that's why this one is the way it is. And one Nagam did has 12 steps to it. So once you add it once to the main one, it automatically does the 12 steps for it.
right.
Some may only be one generic.
Exactly. You may find smart plans where it is just that one-off email and that's that. That's common as well. So lots of different plans. Now, the other type of plan that I want to show you guys, and this is a little bit different, but I want to use the example of an open house follow-up plan. And the reason I want to focus on this is because when you have an open house follow-up plan, my suggestion would be to prep this plan prior to your open house. So what I mean by that is either download it off of the SmartPlan library or make a copy of an existing one in your library, and I'll show you what that means. We want to do this before the open house. So if I search for open house, the very first one that comes up is the Keller Williams one. So I'm going to download this plan. I'm going to click on add to SmartPlan. Now again, this is a bundled SmartPlan, so it's asking me to download some additional plans. I'll download that long-term nurture. I already have that one, which means I already have the open house in my library. I'm going to come to my open house plan. Come on. It's this one. Seems like Command has also not had its coffee yet. Okay. So. Once you download that open house follow-up plan and you come in to edit it, you're going to see a lot of different steps. The first is going to be to send a text message. Now, if you use the Twilio service, it will send the text messages for you automatically, but Twilio is a service that we have to pay for. Now, while it's not that expensive, there are some workarounds if it's not something that you are looking to download right now. If you have Twilio set up, or if it's something that you want to do, you're going to see the option to send an automated text. And if your account is not created or connected, you'll be able to subscribe in the marketplace and get it all filled in there. If you prefer to send a text on your own, you can switch this to create a task. And you'll then get notified via a push notification on your mobile app, as well as on your dashboard, that you need to send a follow-up text that includes any of the descriptive information that you put in. So for example, the automated text message would say, hey, contact name, thanks for coming by. What did you think of the open house? After a day, there's another task that's created, and that's for you to send an email automatically. Now you can switch this to send an automated email, but maybe you just want to make something a little bit more personal. Maybe instead of an email, you want to send a different text message. Either way, it's up to you. My point in this little tangent is that even though the plans are provided to you in a specific order, you can still adjust them and you can make any changes. If you'd rather send an email instead of a text, you can make those changes. If you want to delete a task, add a task, you can do that. Now, so let's say, I'm coming through all of this and I'm preparing for this to go out after I host my open house this weekend. And I'm going to use an example of one of our agents here in Rutherford. She has 220 Washington Ave on the market. So my automated text, maybe I want to change this and say, hey, contact first name, thanks for coming by, 220 Washington Ave. What did you think of the open house? I'm going to keep going. So in this description, nice to meet you at the, 220 Washington Ave open house. I'm going to keep going. This is another this is to make a call. Here's another text message. So I can come in here and I can still continue to add my own touches. I have a few more open houses coming up that I think you'd be interested in. Would you like me to send you a list? Maybe you don't have any open houses coming up next. That's no problem. Come in here and change this. Happy to answer any questions you may have about 220 Washington Ave. If you'd like to come back for a private showing, please let me know. Now, the point is, you can go through this plan and put your own personal touch on it. Make it sound like you, put your voice on it, put your spin on it. Once you have this plan perfectly situated for the 220 Washington open house, we can then add a contact tag trigger. And you're going to see I have some examples here from a previous demonstration I've done. I'm going to click on this edit button. I'm going to delete these because these won't automatically come with the plan. But the point of these triggers is to automatically add your clients onto the smart plan with just the click of a button. So what I can do is, I'm going to rename my smart plan to include the address. And now I'm going to add a contact trigger. So I'm going to create a new tag. Oh, that's right, I can't create it here. Okay. Really quickly, what we're gonna do is come back. When you come into your settings, you can edit your tags. So just an FYI, if you are not familiar with this, when you're in your settings, you can come to Command Settings, go down to Contacts, you're going to see Contact Tags. This is where you're able to view all of your tags, and you can make any edits that you want. So if you want to delete any tags you've created, edit any tags, or create new tags, you can do that right from here. So I'm going to come in here and create a new tag. Open House 220 Washington Ave 7/22/23. I'm gonna make that yellow and create. So now that tag has been created. Coming back into my smart plans, we're gonna see if this will show up now. Might have to give it a refresh. Nope, there we go. Open House 220 Washington Ave. I clicked on that tag and I'm going to click Choose Trigger. Now this is where it's important for you to know. Any contacts that already have this tag will not be added to the plan. If you would like to add them, use the Add to Smart Plan feature in the Contacts or Smart Plans. What this means is that any contacts in our database that already have this tag attached means that that contact will not be added onto this plan. This will work for any contacts coming in that are then given this tag. I'm going to confirm. Now I see that this tag is attached to my plan and I hit save. Now this plan has been set up and is ready to go. So I have my open house this Sunday. And I managed to get a couple people coming in. And let's just hypothetically say that these first couple people who are in my library or my contact database, these were the 4 people who attended my open house. I'm going to click on these 4 people. I'm going to use the select bulk action. And I'm going to add a tag. And I'm going to type in that open house 220 Washington. And selected. So that tag has been added to 4 contacts. Now, when I click on my name, since I'm one of those people, right away, it's saying right here that I was subscribed to the open house follow-up plan for 220 Washington Ave. And that is because I added this tag to my plan and right away. I'm sorry, I added this tag to my contact and right away that contact was then added to the plan. Because that tag is a trigger, so that triggers the smart plan to start when that tag has been added to a contact. Now, right away, as Zay mentioned before, how do we know if someone is getting that message? It shows up on their timeline. Now, of course, I saved this plan using Twilio. I don't have Twilio, so it's giving me an error message, but that's good because now I know something went wrong. But it's giving me this SMS error, which is just more information about that Twilio undelivered part. Now, of course, you want to make sure you get that all figured out before you add your people to the plan, but that's just an example of how quickly that messaging will begin to kick in once that tag has been added to a contact. The reason I like to show this to you guys is because you should have your landing pages set up for your open house. So when someone signs in for the open house, they're automatically added into your contact as a lead. From there, after your open house is done, you take all those leads and you give them this tag. That way, right away, they're starting to get this messaging. So you've set this up in advance, you took your Saturday to get everything ready. That way your open house ended at 2 o'clock. You give this tag to everyone in your database at 2:30, right away. The people who attend your open house are getting a text message, hey, how'd you like the house? I mean, that's pretty cool, that's pretty quick. And there's a lot of other ways you can use this trigger for as well, you know, if people sign up for any sort of event that you have, or I'm sure there's other instances, but definitely the open house is one of the more popular ways to use this feature. When I come back into my smart plan here, and I'm on my smart plan page. Just trying to find that one. Hold on, here. Come on, what are we doing? Oh, that's cool. All right, here's the plan. A little bit of digging to find it, but here's that plan, 220 Washington.
So it also allows you, sorry, it allows you to choose the date you want to start
Yes,
on the 12-step ones.
on any of them.
On any of
If you're adding more than one person on a plan, you can stagger that. I'll show you that in just a second.
Sorry,
You're good.
for fun, and my sister just smart.
So here's the plan that we just created, 220 Washington Ave. Now it's a week later, and we have another open house we're working on. What I'm gonna do is make a copy of this plan. And I'm gonna delete copy of, and instead of 220 Washington Ave, maybe this is gonna be 440 Lincoln Ave. Wow. Apply. Now what I'm doing is simply repurposing the content that I've already created. 440 Lincoln Ave. I'm going to click on that edit button. And all I need to do on this plan is go through it and make sure all of my information is correct. Most importantly, changing the name of the property address. Because remember, I copied this from my original one where it said 220 Washington Ave. So I'm just simply going to change this to 440 Lincoln Street, or whatever I said. I'm going to go and do that and do the whole 9 yards. And again, have that process where I go on the back end, create my tag for open house at 440 Lincoln Street, add that trigger event, and then when this open house is done, I'm going through that same cycle. So this is just a great way for you to set everything up in advance before the day of your event. That way you're not, rushing to do all this Or even after the open house is done, you're probably tired, you've been talking a lot, you need a little break, you wanna go home and just relax. You don't have to worry about this. All you need to do is add a tag to a contact. And the rest is gonna be done for you. So Janine did bring up a great point that I will show you guys really quickly. Bear with me while this loads. Oh, so slowly. When it comes to adding your contacts to a plan, you can choose to add them all at once, or you can stagger them. So right now I'm selecting all of my contacts, and I'm doing that bulk action, and I'm gonna add them to a smart plan. So let's say I do want to add them all to a 36 touch plan. Now, what's great about this is regardless of the type of plan, if your contacts are missing anything that needs to be in place for the smart plan to work, it will let you know. So I have 6 contacts that don't have an email associated with them. I can remove those contacts with errors so they're not going to get on the plan and it won't go through. So I'll remove those contacts, and now I have 53 contacts left. I can choose to start them all on the plan immediately, or have them all start on a certain date, or stagger them over a few days. So since I have 53 contacts, maybe I only want 10 contacts to get the plan today, another 10 get them tomorrow, etc., etc. Now, an open house follow plan, we don't want to do that because we want everyone to get this next month at once. But let's say we are sending out an email about, I don't know, contact me today for a free home evaluation. The goal is to get a lot of responses, so we may not want to send that to everybody at once. Because if we get 20 people emailing us back, we don't want it to be all in one day. Hopefully that, it's over the course of a few days. So I can come here and I can choose to stagger the start. And it's up to you, the maximum contacts per day. Maybe I really just want to split this in half. And I want 25 people to get it the first day, and then the 28 people to get it the next day. It's completely up to you, whatever you want to do. And then as soon as you hit confirm, it's been submitted, the contacts will be uploaded shortly, and then everyone will start to receive that messaging. Any other questions? I know we kind of went through a lot. Again, this was not an intro to the smart plans, it was a little bit more intermediate. If anyone does or is looking for information on the basics of a smart plan, check out Marty Miller's 66-day command challenge series. That will teach you everything you need to know about the basics of smart plans.
Can you please tell us again, how can we add a bulk smart plan?
Yes, absolutely. That's going to be right here on this contact page. You can.
So your contacts or you small, wait, hold on, let's clarify this. Do you want to add a bulk smart plan to numerous contacts or to download a bulk?
So our smart plans to multiple contacts.
Okay.
Multiple contacts. Yep, so you can do that right on the contact page. You can filter down your contacts. So maybe you only want to send this, you want to have the plan to anyone with neighborhoods. Maybe we're doing like the bi-weekly nurture. So I want to make sure I'm only using my clients that have a neighborhood. So what I did is I clicked on that filter button. I came down to neighborhoods and clicking on any neighborhood and clicking apply. So of my 59 contacts, only 29 of them have a neighborhood, which is fine because mine are not real. So what I can then do is do that bulk action right from my contact page. In this gray header bar, you're going to see this white box all the way up on the left. This will select all of your contacts. If you wanted to individually click through them, you can, but this allows you to select all of your contacts at once. Then you're going to go over to this drop-down menu, select bulk action, and here's where we can add to Smart Plan. All of the plans you've downloaded will show up here, so you can either scroll and search, or type it in and search. So if I'm searching for the bi-weekly, neighborhood nurture. I can then type in bi-weekly, I find that plan, hit select. Now, for this instance, I want everyone to start the plan at once because this is just gonna be ongoing messaging. But as we've reviewed, you can say, I want to start 10 people one day, 10 people the next day, etc.
They're making me change this.
Any other questions?
Why is it making me, so like when I just tried to download a monthly naming return, it's making me change the name of it.
Probably because you already have it downloaded in your library.
No, it's a smart plan name must be unique in your library.
You already have it downloaded as that original name.
So
So
when I went to smart plans, I didn't, oh, maybe I should scroll. No.
it's probably in there somewhere, yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
No, wait, these are from nurture. Oh, because it was part of that. So there was a monthly neighborhood nurture, it said it was 2 steps or 2 things or whatever. And one was the intro email, and then maybe it downloads with it the actual monthly neighborhood
Mhm.
nurture.
It might,
steps.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
There's an intro, and it might have gone with it, that was probably.
Yep. That's why, all bundled together.
So to me, it shows only 10. Let's say I wanna add SmartPlans to all my contacts, all the 300 ones.
So when you're looking in your contacts, let me clear this. In order to view all of your contacts, come over to the right side, click on where it says show 1 through 10. Click on 500. It will then most likely give you a little pop-up that says Save Smart View. You want to click on that. Let me show you. So if I hypothetically said, I want to see 25 contacts at a time, I can click on this button that says Save Smart View Change. Once I do that, anytime I come and click on my contacts, it's automatically just going to show me 1 through 25. I want to see as many as possible. I always want to see the most. So that's why I'm going to choose 500. Save Smart View changes, and now every single time I come to my contacts page, I'm gonna see up to 500 at once. So that's how you can change it to always reflect the most number of contacts in your view.
For me, it says create smart view, it doesn't say save smart.
Yeah, create Smart View, yep. Just that button that'll show up right here. And that's it.
Can you please check if I download the right smart plan? Because I wanted to download the one for the DCP 12 months.
Absolutely.
And I download a couple of them, but I don't think they're the right ones.
Absolutely. If anyone else if you guys have any other questions about Smart Plans, please let me know. Again, we have Barney Miller's YouTube series is a great resource, but if you ever have questions, I am here to help. Thanks, everyone.